Hey friends, I'm back with a reading wrap up. Wow, these months are flying by. Let me tell you, March is over. I blinked and March is over. Wow, we are here in April. That's kind of crazy, but yeah, let's get into this monthly reading wrap. Compared to February, this month was it felt not as good. Like I was not reading consistently at all. I honestly was in a reading slump. I really had no motivation to read. Like nothing was interesting to me. um, so yeah, it was an interesting month, but I still managed to read 5 books. So I mean, was that a bad reading month? You tell me. But I was trying to make it to 6 because if I do 6, I'll stay on track with my reading goal. But one short, it's fine. I squeezed out 5 right at the end, like literally the last day I finished a book of the month. So yeah, kind of yeah. I was just not feeling nothing. Okay. I gotta think about what I said I was gonna read in March. Didn't read none of those books except maybe 2 because they're my book club books. So like they're guaranteed, but everything else, actually maybe I did. I need to go. I literally forget all the time what I actually said I was gonna read. And then I have to pull up my Instagram, like, oh wait, I did say I was gonna read that. So I had about, let's see, 6 books minimum on my list that I like want to read, and then I add on other ones. So I'm looking at the video that right now on Instagram. Already 3 of them did not read. Okay, so 2. Okay, yeah, okay, okay. I read 3 out of it. That's actually not that bad, right? Is that a failing grade? Anyway, I have my phone here because, as I always say, I be forgetting what I read, what I rate. I just in the moment when I turn the camera, it's like everything leaves out my brain. So I have to have my phone here to help me remember. But yeah, I read 5 books, and honestly, it wasn't like a horrible, like most of the books I rated like 4 stars. So that's pretty good, right? Start off the month with Daggermouth. I started at the end of February, but I read most of it in March. So finished that in March, the beginning of the month. Gave that 4 stars. Honestly, you know, it's a dystopian romantasy, and I think it's more on the dark romantasy side of things. Um, the characters were older, so I liked that. They were like in their 30s. That was nice. Black main female character, that was nice. I feel like with that book, it was like I wasn't necessarily bored with it, but at the same time, I was just like, it really doesn't make sense. Everything in this world, like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I really just didn't understand it at all. Okay, this girl, she's basically like a assassin for hire, and there's different like rings of like society, and she has to kill the president's son and go into the heart of the elite circle, whatever. And then a lot of stuff ensues from that because she gets caught, and there's just like a bunch of stuff that happens, rebellion, resistance, and stuff. But like I just don't understand the villain side of it. Like the like how did he come in such power, and like he literally was the most cruel evil person that it was just almost like unbelievable. But maybe that was the point. I don't know. But I just a lot of times was like, this doesn't make sense to me. Um and the romance part of it, no. I did not care about the romance part of it at all. It just fell a little flat for me. I didn't, maybe because they said enemies to lovers, and like I had high hopes, but once again, enemies to lovers just doesn't work for no one. Like no one gives me true enemies to lovers, because if you're enemies for real, like I don't want to see any type of notion that you're finding any part of them attractive within the first couple times of meeting them. Like I'm sorry, like, I don't want to hear it at all. You have to be blinded so much by your enemy, like you're not thinking about how they look. He's your enemy. I don't care how he looks. Anyway, that part of it just pisses me off. But yeah, that was Daggermouth. I still give it 4 stars because overall, like I had a decent time with it, and there was so much potential, and it just got so wordy and just like, what's going on. And the ending, I was like, are you kidding me? The ending kind of made me mad. So, but 4 stars, it was fine. It was fine. It was okay. My book club book, one of them was You Are Fatally Invited. Gave that 4 stars. It's like a who done it murder mystery, like locked door mystery. They're in this mansion on this island and they can't go anywhere and they gotta solve the mystery. You know, who's killing off the people? Who's the mysterious author? Good times. I had a good time. I was getting Clue, and I love Clue. When I was younger, so I enjoyed it overall. It was a little like the wording, like it was pretentious, I guess you could say, but makes sense because it was a bunch of authors coming to this island. So at the same time, like it made sense that writing style, but like the characters were annoying me. Like there was not one good character to root for, which again, maybe that was the point, but I wanted to be on someone's team and I was on nobody's team. I was just like, well, I just want to know how this all came to be, but like I could care less who makes it out alive. Okay. I could care less. But still solid read. I was entertained. Then I needed a short book. I was like, I really need to read a short book. So this was part of my TBR. So I did read this one. Dagger Mouth was a one off, by the way. But this one, The Rainfall Market, was on my TBR short book. I was like, I need some short books in my life. And that one was like barely 300 pages, I think. But it's like a cozy story. I was like, I need to read this before winter's over because it really gives like fall, winter, cozy vibes. Studio Ghibli vibes, kind of slightly. But yeah, it's like a little girl. Well, yeah, she's a little girl. I think she's like 11 or 12, and she's like really poor and like bad. But there's this market that comes around the first of the rainy season, and if you write to them, they may give you a golden ticket to go and grant your wish, whatever wish you want. So she gets that and goes, and of course, goes on a little adventure and like learns things, meets characters. And yeah, it's just a nice, simple, cute story, a little dry at times, but I think because it's like a translated work, sometimes I feel like when you're translating from another language to English, it can be a little dry, in my opinion. But I wasn't mad at it. I gave it 3.5 stars. Like it was fine. It didn't really move me in any type of way. And I didn't care about the characters that much. Like I want to really be feeling the characters, but I really wasn't. Um then the other book that I read for my second book club was The Poison Daughter. And that was a long book. That book was 650 pages. Again, a romantasy. It started off so well. I was so excited. I'm like, are we finally gonna get a good romantasy? And it just fell apart. Like, what's going on, you authors of romantasy? I need y'all to get together, please. Or is something wrong with me? Maybe romantasy is not it for me. I don't, that's so sad, but I just I can't. It was 650 pages, and it's like, what happened in this book? What happened in this book? I just felt it was a lot of monologues of the main girl, and it's dark. It's a dark romantasy. There's trigger warnings in the beginning, and I my brain just wasn't there, I guess, because I just glossed over all of that because reading it, I was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. When like traumatic stuff was happening, I was not expecting that. It was taking me out. I was like, this is intense. So yeah, that was on me. I mean, it was clearly at the beginning of the book, but I don't know. I would be reading it and just be like, what are we saying? Let me reread that again. I was just not in a great headspace when I was reading that book, and I don't know. It just the way it was. But yeah, it's a girl who has a power to kill people when like with poison when she kisses them, and she's just like a pawn in her family of like her family like rules this city, and they all have different powers, and she's just kind of a pawn in that, and there's just a lot of traumatic stuff that she went through and is working through as an adult, because again, I believe they're older, but it was reading very young. Like it was reading that they were early 20s, but she was also 30. So like again, another older character, but it was very much reading young. I forgot that they're in their 30s. um and yeah, she has to like marry the neighboring city heir or whatever for a certain reason, and there's just a lot of stuff that happens. But again, of course, it's romantasy, but it's very dark and very intense, and I just was not prepared for that, even though it literally told me that in the beginning. And then it was just like, but nothing was really happening with the plot. Like there were so many elements, and it's just like, wait, what happened to that plot line, please? It's just a lot of her dialogues of just trying to get past all her trauma. It was just, it was not what I thought. And then the end, it rushed so fast, and it's like, Um, excuse me? What's going on with these rushed endings? Please, I need this to make more sense. But like, yeah, sure, everything ended up fine at the end. Kinda. I guess, yeah, it ended up pretty well, but I gave it 3 stars. So it was my lowest rating book. I think the reason why is because it was so long and I just felt like nothing was happening. So it was kind of starting to be tedious to read. And yeah, but I finished it and it made for great discussion. You know, that's the one good thing about a book like this is it makes for great discussion. Just like, let's make sense of this plot and then like, wait, but is it really like there was no like nothing was really happening though. There's a plot and nothing is happening. You're just telling me this happened. I never saw it. Like you didn't show me nothing. Um yeah, maybe one day I'll get a good romance to see. I really hope so, but anyway, I rounded out the month with a book I started in February and put down. I've been like that for the the past couple of months. I just cannot lock in with a book. Okay, so this one I was like, you know what? I'm making headway. Like, let me just finish it. Like, it's not that long of a book. It's called One and Only. It's a newer release that came out in February, I believe. And yeah, I actually really enjoyed it overall. I gave it 4 stars. Nice contemporary romance with magic realism, and you either love magic realism or you don't. So if think about that when you read it because the magic realism, like it makes sense, but also it doesn't. You know, it's like, okay, we'll just accept it. But yeah, this lady, she's looking for it's like faded, which also I love a good faded story, which I feel like you don't come across as much. But yeah, her family has a matchmaking business and they uh she's like waiting for her fated person. And yeah, she's getting older and just a lot of things. She also has like childhood trauma and she's trying to unpack and, you know, turning 40 and all this stuff. She meets a guy and like they hit it off and but then it's like he's not her fated. So it's just like, you know, a lot of complications. Overall, I really enjoyed the story and yeah, it was cool. There was just one little section of the book that I was just like, really, we had to do it like this. Like I didn't like that. But other than that, I actually had a decent time with it. I thought it was a pretty solid contemporary romance, like I said, with a little touch of magic realism. So yeah, I ended the month with that and yeah, guys, that's it. All the books that I read in March. We'll see how May. I'm already in May, guys. Wow, I'm all over the place. We'll see how April goes. I don't really know. I feel like I should not make a list. I should just really truly just pick up a book that interests me and read it. I'm not gonna make a list of, you know, what I hope to read. I think I should just pick up a book and just read it. That's gonna be the plan. But yeah, let me know what you guys read in March in the comments below. If you're planning to make a list for April, you know, all the things. But yeah, make sure you subscribe, notification, all that stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video.